second part here, which is amusing, but also not all of that surprising. Let's put this up there on the screen. It's now being revealed that then President CNN's Jeff Zucker ordered staff not to chase down the lab leak theory as the pandemic unfolded. So this is a report from Fox News's Brian Flood and Joseph Wolfson, two who I know, and they've done good work in the past. So I have I lend some credence to this report. Here's what they say. In the early months of the pandemic, then CNN President Jeff Zucker would not allow his network to chase down the lab leak story because he believed, quote, it was a Trump talking point. Now he says people are slowly waking up to the fog. It's kind of crazy that we didn't chase it harder. Throughout Zucker's tenure at CNN, he had an immensely important role from directing editorial network of the entire, editorial direction of the entire network. They point to a March of 2020 article published by CNN's Oliver Darcy, who says, quote, here's how to debunk coronavirus misinformation and conspiracy theories from friends and family that include debunking the idea that COVID-19 had leaked from the lab and that the origin was not entirely consistent with the natural origin hypothesis. CNN host Fareed Zakaria also said, quote, the far right has now found its own virus conspiracy theory. And in February of 2020, they published a facts first examination of Tom Cotton where they tried to knock him down. They have all kinds of stories spanning over the year of how many times that they tried to debunk the lab leak hypothesis, from CNN's New Day to Chris Cuomo to people who were writing there at the network. And I will give them only one slight ounce of credit, which they did not cover in this. Josh Rogan, who we've had here on the show, who's been also on the Joe Rogan Experience. He works for the Washington Post. He is a CNN analyst, and he did at least talk about it a little bit whenever they did it. So I want to say that they did air it because Rogan is a fearless journalist whenever it comes to this issue and never, ever dropped the idea that it might have come from the Wuhan lab because, you know, he just wanted to do a very basic investigation. However, outside of Josh Rogan, there was a complete effort from the very top of the network, it seems, to quash any investigation here of the lab leak theory. I will also say that they played down CNN Sanjay Gupta's report about COVID, if we'll recall, Krystal. Gupta is the one who went ahead and interviewed, was it Robert Redfield, I think is his name? He interviewed him and is the one who got that quote about him saying that the virus had leaked from the lab, but they were, of course, important to air. They're like, well, you know, people disagree with Dr. Redford on this issue. And so even when they had the scoop from the former CDC director, they felt the need, editorially it seems, to tone all of this down.
Anytime lab leak was mentioned, they went out of their way to say, well, there's no evidence for this. But guess what? There was no evidence for the zoonotic,
for the natural origin
wet market theory either. I mean, they never found this theoretical animal that passed the virus, whatever. These were both theories. At this point, you do have some evidence in the direction of lab leak, but you know, you can't say on one hand, oh, well, there's no evidence to support this. It's just a theory. But then the other one that is equally as hypothetical and theoretical that also has no evidence backing it, that one you just push forward as like, oh, well, this is the one that the serious people are taking a look at. And that's really what it came down to. I mean, Jeff Zucker doesn't know anything about science. And so they all used this sort of partisan analysis of who they liked more. So they liked Tony Fauci and they didn't like Donald Trump. And that's how Zucker ends up labeling lab leak a, quote, Trump talking point and essentially forbidding the network from investigating it. And again, that goes to the point of what Fauci did in terms of pushing for this paper and then putting the paper forward as saying, look, here's the analysis of all the serious people. This is what they think. That was very effective when it came to liberal networks like CNN. My favorite example that they gave here, he went through like Oliver Darcy and whatever. I personally enjoy Krystal Liz's contribution. They headlined it, Anthony Fauci just crushed Donald Trump's theory on the origins of the coronavirus. It notes that Trump has been making the case the coronavirus originated not in nature, but in a lab in Wuhan, China. Insisted Fauci's claim that the virus likely originated naturally was more accurate. Quote, here's a quote from the piece. I love this. Now, before we play the game of he said, he said, remember this. Only one of these two people is a world-renowned infectious disease expert, and it's not Donald Trump, Saliza wrote. So giving up the game that your entirety of your analysis is Trump is bad, Trump said a thing, therefore the thing must be wrong. And I'm going to believe this person over here who he's the good guy. He is science. He's on the side of science. And so I'm just going to reflexively, without thinking, assume that he's the one that's correct.
So Liz,
real journalism there.
He really is the king of the midwits. We also have a hilarious tweet here from Elon Musk. I just got to say here at the top, look, let's put it up there on the screen. He says that he floats the idea that if an organization portrays itself as balanced, it should be labeled to inform the public. After somebody floated the idea that because CNN told their staff not to share COVID, that they should label CNN as state-affiliated media. Now, look, let's not go down this road. As terrible as I think CNN is, I think that editorially trying to place factual notes on different organizations as to how they lean and all of that is a terrible idea, just because I think that basically everything should be allowed to float completely equally, and then we can all make up our minds. And, you know, CNN itself can humiliate itself 3 years later, and we can all take a victory lap on them. That said, it is kind of funny. Yes. The idea of labeling them as state-affiliated media.
Amusing, but bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea, but amusing. And if it happened, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I would speak out about it, though.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.